If you are a homeowner here in the Valley, you made a good investment. For most, over the last couple of years, the value of your home probably increased. Why, and will it continue to increase? Here to answer those questions and a whole lot more is the president of the California Desert Association of Realtors, Stephanie Taylor. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It is good to see you and to hear, we hope, good news. This past couple of years has really been pretty good for the housing market here.
Yes, it's been extremely good for our valley, and unfortunately, COVID had something to do with that. But we've reaped the benefits on this end. We've seen prices increase. We've seen sales increase. We have a lot of people moving here to the desert full time because they can work remotely now. So it's great.
And so, in general, what are housing prices? I mean, what's kind of the median home price? And this probably will shock people.
Well, the reports that we had from November, I'm still waiting on December numbers, but that had our median home price out here around 680,000.
So that's a shock to a lot of people.
Right, and that's the entire valley. When you look at somewhere like Palm Springs, I mean, the cost of an average home in Palm Springs now is over $1 million, close to $1.2 million.
That's the average.
That's the price of an average sized home in Palm Springs. Yes.
What about the rest of the valley? And maybe we can speak to, some specific cities of where you are seeing, more of an increase and others that maybe aren't quite there yet. Give us the lowdown.
Well, from working with buyers who, especially if they're out of the area, they tend to start their search in Palm Springs. With the prices going up in Palm Springs so much, they have begun looking in Cathedral City, because it's very close to Palm Springs. I've had buyers going up to Desert Hot Springs for more reasonable prices, and also certain areas of Palm Desert. Around Palm Desert Country Club is still reasonably priced compared to some of the Palm Springs prices. So those are some of the areas that people are looking. And then of course you've got Indio, which has a lot of new home construction going on now too. So you can get a great deal on a new home in Indio as well.
What are people looking for? We heard during the pandemic, and it's probably still true today, that people want a specific place where they can work in the home.
Correct. Yes, I started seeing that when we were seeing people moving here full time. They want more of a spacious home, with an office, with outdoor space, especially here. The yard and a place where you could spend a lot of time and be comfortable and not be cramped. And, that's another reason I think we were seeing people move here to the desert. You can get a little bit more space than you can in some of the big cities.
And so space-wise, they want more room. They want really probably office space. And let's be blunt, they want to be able to maybe seclude themselves from the rest of the family for a little bit.
Yes, that can be true as well, for sure. For sure.
They probably don't word it that way, but, let's be blunt.
That's right.
For the last few years, interest rates have been pretty good. Where do you see that right now? Are we seeing an uptick? What?
The rates have gone up just a tiny bit. I'd call it a tiny bit because we're still very low. I mean, you're still going to be able to get rates around a 3%. Of course, that all varies based on the borrower and the circumstances. But I know that the market is expecting that interest rates will rise this year. I don't know that that's necessarily going to affect our valley quite as much as it may affect some other areas. I don't expect the rates will go up very much. And for, first-time home buyers, that may make a difference. But out here, most of our buyers are retirees, and, a lot of people come out here with cash. So it may not have that big of an impact here.
Well, let's talk about that. You bring up cash. So if you flash the cash, can you get a better deal rather than having to go through, the rigmarole of getting a loan and all that?
Great question. In a normal market, I would say yes. In this market, generally we're seeing multiple offers. So if you have the cash, then the benefit to you is you have a better chance of actually getting the home. You may not get a great deal on it, but you get the home, that's the deal. So,
Okay.
definitely for a seller, that it's going to be a stronger offer without the loan.
So when somebody is looking and there are multiple offers and you really want the home, what is kind of a guideline as to how much you should increase that offer in order to stay in the game?
That's a tough question to answer. In a lot of cases, the seller, I mean, they're looking for the highest price, but they also, I mean, you can have someone who has to get financing, and they can offer 50,000 above the list price. But the issue with that is that you're going to require an appraisal, and if the appraisal comes in low, then that's going to be an issue. So in a lot of cases, a cash offer that's lower than a higher offer that requires a loan could still get the house.
And if you are just joining us, I want to remind you that we are talking with a representative. She is actually the president of the California Desert Association of Realtors, Stephanie Taylor. And Stephanie, I'm wondering, given it's such a tight market here, are people foregoing inspections even in order to make the deal go quicker, maybe be the winner of an overbid, that kind of thing?
Yes, I have seen that. And for a seller, again, that's something that they consider because it's, they're not going to have to worry about repairs. They're not going to have to worry about it falling out of escrow because of something that needs to be done. I see that a little bit more often on homes that are what we would consider a fixer, because the buyers realize they're going to have to do a lot of work to it.
So is that the case for a lot of homes here, or is that in the minority?
I would say that's a minority, at least in my experience.
And so when you're taking people through, and really, are you actually taking people through homes anymore, or is it pretty much online?
In the beginning of COVID, we were doing a lot of video tours and people being remote and making purchases that way. Now, with a lot of the restrictions being lifted, we have more people in town that are looking in person, open houses and that kind of thing.
It's interesting. We have a neighbor who purchased the home right next to us, sight unseen. I mean,
Yes,
saw it
that
online,
happens.
but it's like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think, I've had that happen even before COVID. For a lot of the people that buy here, they've been here before. Maybe they've vacationed here. They come down every year. They know the development, or they know the neighborhood, and feel confident in buying something that they haven't actually seen in person.
So are people buying within an HOA, not in an HOA, in a gated area, not gated? What's the trend?
Well, I think that really depends on the area. I don't know that I have people specifically looking gated or not gated. I think for people that may be here part-time, to be in a gated community gives a little more sense of, things are kind of taken care of when they're not here. And, so that's something to consider there. Otherwise, it just really comes down to price and the fact that the inventory is low. They'll take gated or not gated, just, to get a home in the price that they need.
And so, because there is not a great deal of product out there, are you, as part of the association of, desert realtors, are you trying to get more developments going here so you've got more product to sell?
Yes, I wish I could control that, but we definitely what's amazing to me is the amount of construction that's going on, in Palm Springs all the way to Indio, and the homes are selling quickly. The challenge is that most of the homes are not built yet, so they're selling them before they're ever built. I mean, that's how many buyers we have out here. So, I think statewide, definitely, the California Association of Realtors is working hard to, to hit these affordability and issues like that, the bigger issues. And, so that's something that's being done on their level with government officials and that kind of thing to, kind of ease the process so that we can get the homes built.
Well, and actually the cost of building a home now is more because of wood
Right.
and other product that they need. So I can see where
Correct.
some of the developers are between a rock and a hard place at this point. Are you
Yes.
finding that when the majority of people who are moving here, are they moving here as a permanent resident, part-time, what?
Yes, the trend that I started seeing since COVID was that people are moving here full time. It's the same thing that I did. Maybe people that had a condo coming here part time can now work remotely, or they're retiring. Things have changed since COVID. So they're maybe selling the condo and getting a bigger home to live in. So I've seen quite a bit of that. Yes.
And I know you'll say it's best to work with a realtor, but let me
Of
let me
course.
ask you. But let me ask you: are you finding that some are doing FSBOs, for sale by owner?
I have not noticed that. I have not noticed that. And I'm not sure why that is. I think I saw more of that when I first came out here, back in 2007, 8, when the market was really under pressure. But I have not noticed that. If you're selling your house on your own, generally, I mean, it's not going to end up in the MLS, and that's where I see the listings. So that's kind of one of the drawbacks, because an agent isn't going to see it unless you just happen to be driving down the street or looking on Zillow, maybe.
Yeah, and you really, I guess you want to make sure that somebody is representing you as the owner,
Yes.
in any negotiation. So, just as an aside, you moved here, a few years back, but you moved from Orange County, correct?
I moved from Los Angeles.
Los
Yes.
Angeles.
Yes.
Okay, so you were in show business.
I was.
Yeah. What did
I
you
don't
do?
sing, I don't dance, but I was producing visual effects and animation for commercials, movies, video games, some attractions, like theme park attractions.
Yeah. What
Yeah, so I,
movies?
I worked on some of the, like, Garfield movies. We did a lot of character animation type things.
How wonderful. Do you miss that?
No.
Okay, that was, oh, well, I like the directness.
Oh, no, it was a great experience. I did that for many years, and I had a great time. Um, Eventually, though, and the reason I ended up out here, I like having my weekends and my nights, and it was a job that required a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So it's something I definitely enjoyed, and I don't regret a minute of it.
Well, I think to be a realtor too, you are kind of at the beck and call of people who are looking at probably all hours of the day.
Right.
So you've traded one for the other, but
Right.
probably a little more relaxation. Well,
Yes,
I thank you for the update, and we'll have you back because real estate is ever changing, and
that's right.
it really kind of is that roller coaster that you want to make sure you're buying at the right time and you're selling at the right time. And given what's happened, when people go on to Zillow and they see, oh my gosh, our home is worth now X thousands of dollars more, and they say, well, let's sell. But then you say, okay, where can we move? So
That's
that's
right. I think,
difficult.
yeah, I think that's one of the reasons the inventory is low. I think we might see more people selling if there were more, more available homes for them to buy.
Yeah. So
So,
it's the it's just the yin and the yang of the real estate business. Well,
yes.
Stephanie, congratulations. How long have you been the president?
This is my year, 2022. So
Wonderful.
I was the president-elect in 2021, and I'm ready for a great 2022.
Well, we hope you have a great run this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.